Of all the powers in Europe, Britain alone relied upon a volunteer army. The Minister of War, Earl Kitchener, was deeply pessimistic. He believed Britain's small army would not last long. The war, Kitchener predicted, would take 3 years and require millions of recruits. From town halls to church pulpits, men were urged to take up the call to arms. The Yorkshire Post reported how even a soccer match turned into a recruiting drive.
Stirring scenes were witnessed on the Leeds City Football Club's ground last evening at the end of the match. The Lord Mayor addressed a crowd of about 4,000 spectators. There was a spirited rush across the field and rousing cheers. Up the steps, sturdy young fellows came to receive an armlet of ribbon with the national colours, and to win, perchance with their comrades, an imperishable glory on the battlefield. When the rush subsided, it was found that the number of volunteers was 149. The Lady Mayoress called for a further 51. Another dash was made, another round of prolonged cheering. And to the chorus of "It's a Long Way to Tipperary," the quota was quickly filled.
Another little drink, another little drink, another little drink wouldn't do us any harm. Another little drink, another little...
These men joined to defend their homes, their pubs, their pals.
Well, I said, I've joined now, I can't do any more. Well, she said, you can either have me or the pals. I said, well, it's got to be the pals.
After the initial rush, the number of volunteers dwindled. But it would rise again following news of the British Army's huge losses in Belgium and France. As volunteers jammed recruiting stations, the regular British Army began crossing the English Channel.
We got adventure. We enlisted. At first, we could not follow the trend of events on the continent. Whom were we to fight? French, Russians, Germans? What did it matter? The dose of that rapid fire of ours, followed by an Irish bayonet charge, would soon fix things.
On August 23rd, John Lucy's unit reached the Belgian town of Mons. The next day, they faced a German force outnumbering them nearly 3-1. The Germans attacked in waves, advancing shoulder to shoulder over open fields.
Our rapid fire was appalling, even to us, and the worst marksmen could not miss. And after the first shock of seeing men slowly and helplessly falling down as they were hit, gave us a great sense of power and pleasure. It was all so easy.
But it only seemed so. The next morning, John Lucy was surprised to hear that the British Army was being ordered to retreat.
Every cell in our bodies craved rest. Men slept while they marched, and they dreamed as they walked. They talked of their homes, of their wives and mothers, of their simple ambitions, of beer and cosy pubs, and they talked of fantasies. The brains of soldiers became clouded while their feet moved automatically.
Like the British and French, the German army was also exhausted. As the German right flank drove deeper, it separated from the rest of the invading force. Recognizing their vulnerability, the Germans pulled up 25 miles short of Paris. Now it was France's chance to attack. But to fail this time would be to lose Paris and the entire war. Every available French soldier was rushed to the front. Paul Lantier was surprised to see even taxicabs headed for battle.
Inside the cabs, I caught a glimpse of soldiers sleeping. "Wounded?" asked somebody. "No," came the answer from a passing car. "It's the 7th Division from Paris. They're off to the front."
What followed was the Battle of the Marne. It lasted 6 days and involved 2 million men. When the battle ended, the German advance had been stopped. Paris was saved. The Schlieffen Plan was in ruins. But stopping the Germans was not the same as stopping the fighting. To survive against the modern weapons of war, soldiers abandoned their 19th century tactics of open warfare and began digging into the earth. Trenches spread mile after mile. Stalemate was born.
And this is the first time that the British are up against the realities of trench warfare. And they're absolutely baffled as to why they have not been able to drive the Germans back, have not been able to break through. This is for them a whole new phenomenon.
Reaching stalemate was the bloodiest period of the entire war. In 5 months, 400,000 French soldiers were killed.